Hey everybody, wanted to make a quick guide on if you're a new player in Fallout, if you're new to the end game, how to launch a nuke, minimal requirements, stuff like that. Benefits from leveling up more, pulling through the story more, doing more events before going for this event. Because it can be challenging, especially if you're by yourself. But it's not impossible. And I would say like the best way to get started is to be on a popular world where you can get a lot of people to join the end event that I'm going to talk about later on. Now, before I do get started, I do want to shout out Mr. Westtuck and Angry Turtle on their Fallout guides, as they're currently making relevant stuff that can help out a lot of new players. Definitely recommend checking theirs out, maybe even before watching this video, as you can get a lot of good insights and have somebody that has a lot of experience at this game run through. And I mean, it's just good. It's good to see what possibilities there are through different builds. This build is going to be based around power armor and heavy guns, so if that's not your build, feel free to watch and see what advice you can get from this. But if you are power armor, I highly recommend just sticking around watching this video, especially if you're new into the game and you just don't have a lot of resources yet to go through. I know it can seem like a lot to get started, but once you're started, you'll be rolling. And definitely just, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment. I usually check the inbox almost every day. And yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. So at the end game, you're most likely gonna be doing one or two things. You're gonna be completing all the side quests, completing all the main quests that you haven't done, and I'd really recommend doing that. Get some levels out of it. Keep doing the regular events that appear. Especially do stuff like the alien invasion event when it comes in. I honestly think that level 75 is a minimal level to start launching nukes, just out of convenience. You can do it at level 50, however, only having one legendary perk is really going to slow you down. And we're going to talk about some of the recommendations and some of the requirements that you would want to go with. So the first thing we're going to go with is either the crowd control shotgun, just because this one has a minus 90 weight reduction, shoots a lot faster, has the bullet explosive. That's the key thing here, is making sure that it has explosive bullets. I really like the shotgun. I personally use this, or I use the Kaboom, which is one of my other favorite ones. The Kaboom just is kind of one of my first shotguns that I had when I was still in a shotgun build, so sometimes I just like using it for the aesthetic look of it. But it is also, it's heavier, shoots slower, reloads slower. So I mean, personally I go with the crowd control. However, the Kaboom is still a very good shotgun, and I recommend either one of those for your main choice there. So moving on, we have the plasma caster, holy fire, and the Gatling plasma gun. If I had to choose one, I would definitely pick the holy fire, as it's going to be doing most of your DPS. Plasma caster is more for turrets that you can't hack into. There's going to be a few. The Gatling plasma caster, or the Gatling plasma gun, is what I use just to kill some singular Assaultrons, because sometimes I don't need the charge for my fusion core and I'd rather just kill them for their scrap. However, that's totally personal and something up to you. Definitely would recommend the holy fire, as it's going to be dealing a lot of DPS. So moving on to the power armor, we're looking at Extrav as your minimal, I would say. Don't really need a lot there, just make sure your perks are set right, which is also something I'll be previewing. Now for the actual armor I'll be using in the video, I have T45, which is the lowest level power armor. However, I've been saving most of my materials and legendary scripts for whenever I want to craft higher level armor, because that's a whole grind in itself. Definitely recommend just making sure that you have at least extra armor going through some of these legendary perks. I have 3 on aristocrats and then a couple with radiation resistance as well. That's what I've been getting by with. I haven't been killed by any monsters besides a couple one-shots by Earl. That was a little rough. However, that's what you can get by with. Some other recommendations I would give if you are a little bit further into the game is going through and looking at maybe Hellcat armor. If you have that and you don't have any legendary gear or PA to use, definitely recommend those kind of type deals, because some of it can just be a little frustrating to understand, but that's okay. I mean, there's just a lot of gear in Fallout. Another set I also recommend is Ultra Sight. You get it for free at one of the in-game quests. You get a whole set, so definitely good to just run through the story and do that quest if you haven't done it already. I'll put a pop-up on which one it is. For Hellcat, same deal. You can get an entire set for free for completing an in-game quest, I believe, for the Enclave. Either way, one of those two, it'll get the job done. You don't need a lot of legendaries to get this done. I use legendaries because it just, the more benefits, the better. I would say starting off with your perks, if you're a heavy gunner, put as much into heavy as you can. Get that DPS up, but make sure you're also watching your carry weight. Using bare arms and traveling pharmacy can help with that. Bullet shield is nice. If you're not using energy weapons, bandolier is also really nice. Refractor for just a little bit more energy resistance against robot. Rad resistance, adamant skeleton, slow metabolism, and endurance. For charisma, this can be more of a personal choice. Once you kind of get further along into the end game, you don't really need as many of the speech checks, and you could mess with this and do kind of your own personal things. I like to be a quick boy. I like to also pass convenient speak checks during daily quest, and then I also like to get a little bit more XP. Moving on to intelligence, we have power user, gunsmith, batteries included, stabilize, which is definitely recommended, portable power, adrenaline and agility, and as well as through hiker. Luck of the draw and luck, pharma, can do, ricocheted for sure, scrounger, and then tormentor. Ricochet is going to be one of your main ones for luck that I would definitely recommend having maxed out, as it just definitely helps. Adrenaline maxed out, batteries included, as well as a little bit of rad resistance always helps in the nuke. And then you're going to definitely want that energy resistance. Once you're set up there, you can start looking at your legendary perks. Level 75 is what I definitely would say the minimal recommendation for getting started on these. And it's not for any you couldn't do it reasons, it's just going to be a lot more convenient to have electric absorption and master infiltrator. Getting started on electric absorption, I would recommend at least 2. That's what I have it at, and I haven't had to use a new fusion core in quite some time. I haven't had to farm fusion cores in any way at all. And I also, from energy weapons, you're going to be getting a lot of damage reduction, a lot of restored health. Once you're kind of settled there, you could start looking into perk points to actually increase your DPS and benefits and carry weight, however you're doing that. I use strength and intelligence at the moment. It just gives me better options, and that's what I prefer to do. Strength is definitely good for your heavy guns. It helps me have bare arms 3, which is really nice because that just keeps my heavy guns at a really low weight. Master Infiltrator is going to be one of your conveniences in launching nukes. There's going to be quite a few terminals and pick locks to go through. I'll put all of the terminals and pick locks, how many there are exactly, on the screen. We'll be able to get that set up for you guys so you can kind of know how much time it's going to take to get through all those. Once you're set up here, you're ready to go. Let's go ahead and get started with launching the nuke. Once you're good, once you have a missile silo holotape, which you can get at the Enclave bunker, and a nuclear keycard that you can find at random shops in town or player shops, check your missile silo holotape. Make sure you got a 0 hour, 0 minute time. Once you're set up there, you can check your weapons, check your armor, make sure you're good to go. If you have anything you need to repair, which is something I usually check before I go in there, make sure you grab your explosive shotgun. I did not in this run that I'm going to show you. You'll be able to see just how much longer it takes just because I didn't bring an explosive gun. You have to actually shoot more pieces individually for the mainframe cores. I'm going to cut in and out of the video a few times. One last thing I wanted to talk about was how many turrets you're going to actually be hacking into, how many picklock doors they're going to be, and how much junk you're going to need to actually repair the cores. For hackable amount of turrets, you're going to be looking around 7 for terminals. Sometimes this can vary. If people do the nuke before you, sometimes the turrets just don't spawn back, and you can actually get away with getting some by on some easy areas. You'll actually see that in the first little area that I was in. I hacked into the terminal, but there was no turret there, so I didn't have to worry about it. There's 3 pick-lockable doors. I definitely recommend pick-locking all of those doors. One of them will lead to a turret. The other 2 are just gonna make things a little bit faster for you to get through there. You're gonna need about 45 steel and 30 circuitry to repair the cores. You're gonna have to exit your power armor twice, and that's really the main thing you're gonna be looking at when you exit your power armor, especially if you're new. Kind of clear the area a little bit, make sure everything's dead. For me, most parts, I'm usually good to go. I have to worry a couple times whenever I'm repairing the cores, but as long as you kill most everything around there, you can usually get in and out of your power armor pretty quickly. I'm not that far into the game yet to where I can just run around without power armor yet. I'm still grinding out some of the Secret Service armors. But yeah, that should be most everything you need to kind of get started. I did speed up the run itself, that way you guys wouldn't have to sit here and launch a 40-minute video. I'm gonna cut in one more time to talk about where you can actually launch your nukes. There's one side quest you can do, which is the Earl Mahogany Mine, I believe, or I'm not really too sure how to actually say that, but I have done that side quest. You can start it by talking to somebody at the Foundation near Reward. She should just be right across there. I think her name's Maggie. You talk to Maggie, she'll start the quest for you and tell you that her dad's went into a mine, and you have to launch a nuke on top of the mine in order to actually start that side quest. But yeah, I'll cut into the video in a little bit once I'm actually there and launching a nuke, just to kind of explain how that process works. If you want to hear that, stay tuned. Other than that, I'll be talking there, and then at the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoy the run and have a good rest of the day. Alright, what's up guys? If you're here at this point and you're still watching the guide, wanted to say I appreciate your time. One last thing is to make sure you do watch them. However, once you're at the near end of this, it almost requires no attention. Even if one of them dies, they'll get the launch prep done before it really even matters. At that point, you can go around, check for technical data, check for any junk that you want. I prefer to just always fill up on junk because I have Fallout first, and there's no storage limit on that. If you don't have Fallout first, I guess this part on the junk part wouldn't really matter too much to you. However, I just like to do that. It's just a personal thing for me because I ran all the way through here. I'd like to be able to stock up just on as much stuff as I can, because once you leave any of the nuclear launch sites, it's going to reset everything you did in there. And if you, for whatever reason, just did not launch the nuke, you'll have to redo everything. So definitely make sure you're just getting all the value out of this. Grab as much stuff as you can. It's not going to take you but maybe an extra 2 or 3 minutes to run through these back rooms. It's definitely worth it. Even if you don't need some of this stuff, you can sell it for caps. You can drop it for other players if you want to. That's usually what I do at this point in the game. But yeah, there are going to be a couple options to launch these nukes. I'll show you once I'm there. Just kind of a thing to think about is make sure before you launch this and join the event that there are at least 2 to 3 teams on the world. It's just very helpful. The more the better. Trying to do this with 4 people can take a little while and cost you a lot of ammo. But once you do that, go ahead and put your nuclear key card in. I will leave the website link for all the codes that you'll need for A, B, or C. But once you're good to go, you'll want to launch the nuke kind of where I did if you're doing the Scorched Beast Prime. That way you can actually teleport down easily and start the event easily. There's the Monogon Mine for the Earl, and then the Abandoned Mine Shaft 2 for the Ultrasite Titan if you want to launch at those places. But once you're good to go back to your camp, store your junk, and then teleport down over there, and just have fun, guys. I mean, if you have friends that are online, let them know what you're doing. Make some memories with them, help them get some scrap, some flux. It's always a good time. There's usually high levels there just using crazy guns that just make a lot of, sometimes can be a little laggy. You'll definitely want to be careful. If you're on the lower level side of things or don't have a lot of rad resistance, definitely take you some Rad-X before you go down there. Especially if you're not in power armor, you'll definitely want to make sure that you just survive more than anything. And yeah, I will say at the end of the event, do be a little careful whenever you're clearing out the enemies, because you'll no longer be in the event protection, and if you start shooting somebody and they shoot you back, they can start PvP with you and take your stuff from you, like your junk. So definitely just watch out for that. I've had to be careful a couple times. Most people are pretty chill. They're not going to just start engaging PvP with you, because it's just, most people don't PvP anymore. But other than that, enjoy the rest of the video. I'll be back one more time for the outro. And yeah, have fun, guys.
a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that a rich man's world.
So if you made it this far into the video and all the way at the end, I applaud you. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I check my inbox almost every day. If you guys want to add me on Steam and play with me, more than willing to. Plenty of spots on my friends list. More than happy to meet people, answer questions, help you out. And then just in general, I mean, if you need help, just join a team and see if anybody's got a mic. Let them know if you need anything. I've had people that I'm not even asked for just walk off and hand me like bobbleheads, ammo. You know, everybody in this game's super nice, and they just want you to make memories and have a good time. Here's my Steam, and then also big shout out to Mr. Westtech and Angry Turtle again. I can't tell you how much those guys have helped. Their videos have helped me specifically just getting through this game and understanding more about it. Their videos are a lot more professional than mine, and I highly recommend you guys check those out. I'll leave a link to their channels in the description, just because I did base some of this video around some of the things they talked about, so I definitely want to provide credit where it's due. But aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and hope your Fallout journey is a lot of fun. Bye guys.